I'm Sophia Theodoro, student at Humber, currently enrolled in Police Foundations program. We are here now at Toronto Police Headquarters with Toronto Police Service Social Media Constable Tony Vella.
Hello. Morning.
Hi. Okay, so now I have a few questions for you on the new bill C7 in force of 2003, with which is the Youth Criminal Justice Act. So working for the Toronto Police Service Social Media, how does that change your perspective on youth crime?
Well, it's actually interesting. When it comes to social media, looking at a couple of things, it engages a lot of our younger people today. So by sending out the message through social media, Facebook, Twitter, as well as YouTube, it's getting that message out to people, because there are a lot of younger people these days prefer to communicate online. Yeah. So we've tapped into that resource. So what they're doing is we're pushing out that message. So a person's wanted. It goes on to the Toronto Police news release, but it's also fed through Twitter and Facebook. We have the Toronto Police website. We also have the Twitter and Facebook and YouTube, and it's all about being proactive, educating people. Here are some safety tips: how to avoid being sexually assaulted, how to avoid your house being broken into. So there's self-protection tips, how to drive safely, how to avoid a collision. So a lot of education, a lot of prevention. Tips that we provide online, and that's going right towards the younger generation. Yeah. We're also engaging them as well. It's not a one-way dialogue, because what we're doing is with Twitter and as well as Facebook, we're interactive. Yeah. Messages are great. It's a two-way street, but it's all about crime prevention. Reduce your chances of being victimized. So the education, but also we're being reactive as well. When a crime occurs, we're making mention of that on social media. Hopefully, someone that's reviewing it will provide us with the information to make that arrest.
Do you think society has a responsibility to address developmental challenges and needs of young persons?
Oh, we do. We all do. It's important that we all take care of our youth. It's important that we are all engage them, not only just the police, but other agencies as well as citizens. Like what we do is we have the YIPPY program, yeah. Youth in Policing, where we take kids from 14 to 15 years of age. We provide them with summer employment, paid employment. We bring them within our facilities, and the idea is to build a relationship with them, yeah. As well as provide them with the leadership skills. So down the road, if they ever need to call the police, they're not hesitant. They will call the police. They will get the information that's required. But also, it could draw them into employment, becoming a police officer as well, or a member of the police service. So it's important that we all engage our youth, regardless of what organization, or if you're an individual person. There needs to be something done.
Yeah. So, for example, like the Scarborough barbecue shootout, where the youth is involved in the crime. They find that it's youth without a job is the cause of violence in inner city areas. Idle hands are the devil's workshop. And keeping youth busy is important. Here at Toronto Police Service, they, like you said, have the YIPPY program for the youth. And how do you find employment to be important for even outside of the Toronto Police Service, like not just becoming a cop? Like.
Well, I find with younger people, or even with adults, when they're busy, they're actively busy, engaged in something productive, it's beneficial. It pushes people away from crime. When they're not productive and they're idling about, that's when sometimes people get into mischief. So employment does help, because it gives a reason for the person to wake up. It gives a person a reason to be confident, to get to work, to do their work, to provide income as well. Sometimes crime, people commit crime because there's a lack of money, yeah, or a lack of confidence. Yeah. So employment does help. So engaging our younger people in employment, yeah, as well as other activities, it definitely steers them in the right direction. So it's taking the energy that they have and focusing it in a positive way.
Yeah. And sorry, last question. Do you think that the system doesn't make a clear distinction between serious and violent offenses and less serious offenses?
Well, the Act, it clarifies. If you commit if you commit an assault, it's an assault. This is the punishment. If you commit a sexual assault, here's the punishment. Yeah. It's defined. But kids are, younger people, it's a much sensitive thing compared to an adult. There is consideration for them, and the idea is to get them. They've made a mistake. They convicted. If they commit a crime, they're convicted. They've made a mistake, and it's taking them and putting them on the right path, and providing other like social issues, for example, mental health, or it could be a drug addiction, or it could be alcoholism, and that goes for adults as well. But it's to get them on the right path and provide them with the right direction. Our job at the end of the day is to enforce the rules, the laws that we are given by the local and federal governments, and then when the person's arrested, it goes to court. It's up to the judge to decide if they're guilty or not, and then the judge, again, they have to work within their rules as well, and what they're governed by, and the Youth Criminal Justice Act is what they're governed by, so they have to follow those rules as well.
Being in working with youth and having the UP program and being involved with youth and stuff like that, do you find that leading them and having them, let's say, do community service after they've been convicted and stuff like that is a good way of getting them on the right track, like you said, putting them on the right track?
It is. It's important. It's important to get them on the right track. There's so many different options we can pick from, but the idea is to get, and each individual is different. They have their own issues or concerns, but it's important to get them on the right track.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much for this interview, Tony.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
It was great seeing you again.
Yep.
So back to Humber.